Okay, we are back again with another Blood and Plunder battle report. We're doing a 100-point mission. We rolled Take and Hold scenario. It'll be 100 points of my Darien natives versus 100 points of the Brethren of the Coast. So the Take and Hold objective is in the middle. You have to be 4 inches from the center objective here, unshaken and without an enemy unit there to force a strike point on your opponent. My force today consists of 5 inexperienced young warriors. I'm going to have 4 warriors with a grizzled veteran and my experienced commander, and I have 5 veteran warriors.
Brethren of the Coast, we have 6 inexperienced marineros. We have a unit of 5 freebooters with an English buccaneer experienced commander, and we have 5 les enfants perdus that are veterans.
Okay, first hand, first turn, first draw. My friend drew an event, which means and he rolled a 2 on the land table, which was Vexatious Flora, which means we randomized, and the Purdue had to take a resolve check, which they passed, but they treat all terrain as rough terrain, so they're going to have a hard time slogging for the first turn.
So for the first turn, I drew a 6 of clubs to Dalton's 2 of clubs, and I activated my commander's unit here. They moved up 8 inches. They are actually in the building on the first floor. And then the commander gave out 2 actions, 1 to the inexperienced marineros to move up, and 1 to the Purdue to move up as well.
And myself, I moved up. I activated with club, so I moved up my inexperienced young warriors here over the fence, and then I took a shot at the freebooters and didn't do anything. Okay, turn 1, activation 2. I drew a heart to his diamond, so I went with my commander's unit. For his action, or for their action, they jumped over the fence. Second action, they took a shot at the freebooters that are in the building here on the bottom floor. I hit 1, did a fatigue, and sucked out a command point. For his command points, I gave them another action to shoot, doing another fatigue to that same freebooter unit, and I moved up my veteran warriors here 4 inches.
And for my diamond activation, I moved the inexperienced marineros to the 2nd floor of this building. Turn 1, activation 3, I drew a diamond to his club. So I activated my last unit, which was the Perdue. They moved up 6 inches for the first 2 actions, and then took a shot at the warriors that were in the haystacks. I inflicted 1 wound, but he managed to save it, but they still took a fatigue. And that was it for Brethren.
It sucked out a command, or sucked out a fortune point.
That's right. Yeah, he did end up re-rolling a roll to with a fortune point.
So for my activation, I had a club. So my veterans went. They moved up 8 inches to make sure that they were behind cover here, and then they fired back their sidearms, their musket sidearms. I hit 1 guy, killed 1 guy, and did a point of fatigue. Okay. Turn 2, activation 1. I drew a heart to his diamond. I went with my veterans here. They moved up for 1 action, 4 inches, and they shot at the Purdue, doing a fatigue, and no casualties. And then the skirmisher moved back to their original position.
On my first activation of turn 2, I activated my commander's unit, the freebooters. First command point was doled out to the Purdue to rally. I was successfully, even with the reroll, I only got 1 successful. And then I rallied the freebooters and got rid of their fatigue, and then took a shot at the commander's unit. And I did 1 casualty and 1 fatigue. So turn 2, activation 2. I got a diamond to his club, and so I activated my veteran Perdue. They moved up, and with their brace of pistols, they shot twice at the veteran warriors, claiming a casualty and 2 fatigue. And then that was it for me. Over to...
So myself, I activated my, I activated with the club, so I activated my my warrior unit here with my commander. Moved twice, hopped over the fence, moved, and then I rallied my veterans here.
With 2 10s?
Yeah, who were on 2 fatigue, so I reclaimed both of those. I shot for his third action, killing a Perdue here, and doing fatigue, I think. Mm-hmm. And for his second command point, I shot the freebooters in the building with my young warriors.
Turn 2, activation 3. Was my 5 of diamonds to his 2 of diamonds. So my only unit left was the inexperienced Marineros. They just ran out of the upper floor of the building to take hold of this balcony, and they are actually within 4 inches of the objective, claiming it.
Myself, I moved with my diamond. I moved my inexperienced up a little bit more and took shots at the Marineros to no avail.
So turn 3, I drew yet another event card, and it was
Lingering Smoke. So smoke from this black powder from the black powder weapons is lingering on the battlefield and hindering visibility. All units currently with the reload markers in all forces have a +1 penalty to ranged attacks this turn, and it dissipates next turn. So luckily the natives only have bows. Okay, turn 3, activation 1. I drew a spade to Tyler's heart. Big turn here. So my spade, I activated my veteran warriors. The spade procced quick, which allowed them to move 4 for free. They spent their first action to move up another 4, and then their second action to charge the unit of Perdue that were there. I took 2 fatigues to do it, but I ended up killing 2 of the guys, and because of their fatigue, they ended up taking another 2 fatigue, and it routed the unit, and that was them.
With my hearts, I activated the freebooters with the commander inside the building. I spent a command point to reload, their second action to reload again, and then fired on the warriors, the veteran warriors, killing 2 and shaking the unit, so they're kind of trying to get to their commander to rally. And then the last command point was given to the Marineros to kind of do some pot shots over at the young warriors by the farmstead, doing nothing. There you go. Turn 3, activation 2. I went with my last remaining unit, the Marineros, and they reloaded and then pushed themselves to fire shots at the young warriors, and they missed the first volley, but I spent a fortune point, and then I did 1 wound, but he managed to save it and the fatigue as well.
So myself, I activated with a diamond. He activated with a heart. I activated with a diamond. I more or less just hopped the fence and moved up so that I wouldn't start taking strike points this turn. So turn 3, activation 3. Tyler had no more cards left. So I activated with a club for my commander's unit. They moved up 4 inches and then took 2 volleys of shots at the Marineros on the balcony, who withstood everything. His first command point, he gave to the inexperienced young warriors. They took shots at the Marineros on the balcony too, to no avail. And his second command point, he rallied all of the fatigue off of the warriors here. And it's the end of turn 3. Both of us are within 4 inches of the objective. The guys on the balcony are, and my young warriors, so nobody takes fatigue. And both of us have done enough casualties to warrant a strike point up player. Okay, so turn 4, activation 1, and what a turn. I drew a heart to his club. So what I did here, with the unit of young warriors, they moved up 4 for their 1 action, and then they pushed themselves to climb the balcony and fight the marineros in there. I got a fatigue for it. I hit 5 times, and Tyler saved 4 of them and killed 1 guy, and for no fatigue. He then fought back. Oh, sorry. And that was my activation. Yeah.
I activated my commander's unit with the club. They're still downstairs on the 1st floor, but he shouted up through the roof and said, "Attack." So the marineros swung back at the young warriors, killing 3, but he did save all their fatigue. Second command point went to reloading, and then they had 3 actions, so the first action was reloading again, and then they shot at the veteran warriors standing out in the open and killing them.
Okay, turn 4, activation 2. I drew a heart to Tyler's diamond. I moved up with my commander's unit 8 inches for his first command point. I shot at the freebooters in the building. Drew out his last fortune point to save his life and did no fatigue. With his second command point, I had my young warriors who were there to fight the marineros. I think I killed 1 and did a point of fatigue.
Correct. And then with my last activation, I just had the marineros fight the young warriors, get them off their backs, and killed them to the man. Turn 4, activation 1. I had a spade to his diamond, and I used my commander's unit to reload and fire on his commander's unit, killing 1, and then 1 fatigue. And I used my last command point to rally the marineros.
And mine, well, I spent a second last fortune point to get a better card. Wasn't much better. I got a diamond, so I moved them, and then I charged for their second action, and I hit twice and killed 2 marineros for no fatigue.
Correct. And then on my last card, my last activation, I went with the marineros and swung, hit, but he saved, and no fatigue as well. Turn 5, activation 1. It was a heart to his diamond, so I went with the marineros. They swung, they hit once, but he saved it, and no fatigue.
And myself, I spent my last fortune point to try and get a better card, much the same as last turn. So I got a diamond. My trained unit, I rallied with my command point, and then for their 2 actions, I spent for a dedicated fight action, and I killed the marineros to a man.
Turn 5, activation 2. The only unit left was the commander's unit. It had a club though, so they had 3 actions. They ran out of the building and shot up on the balcony with their pistols. I had 3 hits, but he made all 3 saves with no fatigue.
1 fatigue.
Oh, sorry, 1 fatigue. My mistake. Hooray.
And they reloaded for their...
Yes, and then the last action they reloaded.
All right, turn 6. I activated with the spade to Tyler's diamond, and all I could really do is come down off the balcony and charge. So I did just that. I hit 3. He saved 2 of them, and I did no fatigue. He fought back and killed my guys to a man. So that is the game. A narrow victory for the Brethren of the Coast.
Yep.